Well, it's a game for the history books. The two oldest FBS teams will face off at High Point Solution Stadium as RU hosts Michigan. Here to preview that match with the Wolverines, I'm joined by Tom Luicci. Now, Tom, a win here really would be huge for either team. Michigan 2-3 on the season. Some quarterback controversy has really been struggling. Rutgers 4-1 have yet to win a Big Ten conference game. Right. But they come off a huge win from Tulane, and it's the blackout game. Have you noticed an added sense of urgency from the Rutgers players?
I don't think there's any question, Taryn. And add into that the fact that Rutgers finally gets its first bye after this game. They get to heal some players. So they always say that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. But I think this is the exception for Rutgers. This is another chance to make an impression in the Big Ten against a marquee opponent. Sold out football stadium. They announced today that the game was sold out. So, yeah, I think there is an added sense of urgency because, again, the difference from Rutgers' perspective, and I can't speak for Michigan, but between being 5-1 going into the bye and 4-2 is huge because now all of a sudden you've gotten that first Big Ten victory out of the way. It's not still hanging over you for another week until you go to Ohio State and then face that tough stretch after that. So, yes, there is a heightened sense of urgency for this game for Rutgers, no question.
And Michigan may be struggling, but one part of their game that's definitely still remains strong on paper is their defense. They're ranked second in the Big Ten for total defense. What will the Rutgers offense have to do to overcome that?
Well, we've seen the past two games when they run the ball well, the offense functions at high efficiency. Gary Nova is a very efficient quarterback. That didn't happen against Penn State. And what was the result? We saw the offense really struggled. Gary struggled. So running the ball is the first thing. Now Michigan's been very good against the run, the exception being last week against Minnesota when they gave up 200 yards on the ground. Was that an aberration or was that a sign that, as the competition gets a little tougher, maybe Michigan isn't that strong against the run? I think that's one of the things we're going to find out. But again, we say the same thing every week. Kyle Flood emphasizes it. Rutgers has to run the ball.
And on the flip side of things, Michigan is perfect in the red zone on offense thus far. What does the Rutgers defense need to do to stop that?
Well, they have to make sure that they keep an eye on Devin Gardner because he's a dual threat, and that's a large part of the reason that they are so successful in the red zone is because their quarterback makes it an 11-on-11 game. When you have a pocket-style passer, it's 10-on-11. That's what the offense is playing. With Devin Gardner, it's 11-on-11, and he can do so many things with his feet and with his arm. I mean, people have talked about his inconsistency, his turnovers. He's had all those issues, but he also owns the Michigan passing record, single games passing record for 500-plus yards, and he rushed for 11 touchdowns and almost 500 yards last year. So you're talking about a guy who can beat you with his arms and legs, and inside the red zone, those guys are always dangerous.
Thank you so much, Tom. Again, that game will be this Saturday at High Point Solution Stadium. It will also air on BTN at 7 p.m. But if you can make it out to the stadium, remember, it's the blackout game. Do like me and Tom and wear all black. From the Rutgers practice facility with Tom Luicci, I'm Taryn Hatcher.